We have records of ancient civilizations completing impossible tasks. They invoked devastating, catastrophic energy simply by chanting specific syllables, and they moved 100-ton megalithic granite blocks, gliding across miles of terrain. Mainstream historical analysis often dismisses these accounts. The destructive chants are categorized as religious folklore, while the megaliths are attributed to the grueling manual labor of tens of thousands of slaves pulling on ropes. However, ancient Indian texts detailing the use of mantras contain specific, calibrated measurements for vocal pitch and duration. These texts provide a level of mathematical detail typically found in modern engineering blueprints. This animated diagram shows what sound actually is. We often think of sound as noise, but it is a physical force. It is an invisible, geometric grid of high and low atmospheric pressure that displaces particles as it travels through space. If we read ancient texts through the lens of modern acoustic physics, the mythology fades away. What remains are the literal operating instructions for a highly advanced, lost era of sonic engineering. To operate any advanced technology, you need an input mechanism. In the ancient world, that input was spoken language, specifically Sanskrit. Linguists and scientists recognize the Sanskrit alphabet as uniquely precise. Its entire structure is arranged systematically by the physical mechanics of the human mouth and throat, exactly where the tongue touches the palate, or how air is restricted in the larynx. When spoken, specific Sanskrit syllables act as an acoustic programming language. They are engineered to produce exact cymatic frequencies, frequencies that create highly structured, symmetrical geometric patterns in physical matter. In this diagram, you can see how these specific cymatic frequencies actively code and alter the surrounding atmospheric pressure. They take a chaotic environment and force it into an organized structure, turning vocalization into a tangible physical force. Mantras functioned as technical inputs, using vocalized waveforms to restructure the local environment. We can see this acoustic code in action by looking at its most constructive, macroscopic application: moving heavy stones. Modern laboratories successfully practice acoustic levitation today. Scientists regularly use targeted sound waves to suspend liquids and small solid objects completely in midair. This animation demonstrates the core mechanism: standing waves. When two intersecting sound waves collide at the exact right frequency, they cancel each other's movement. The resulting grid forms stationary high and low pressure pockets. These invisible barriers trap and lift matter without physical contact. Look at this ancient temple cross-section. It shows these structures were precisely carved as massive acoustic amplifiers, structurally mirroring a tuning fork. If a trained chorus stood inside these amplified spaces and chanted specific low-frequency mantras, the resulting acoustic resonance would generate massive standing waves inside the architecture. This suggests a mechanism for nullifying the effective weight of granite blocks, a potential engineering solution for the movement of 100-ton stones that bypasses the need for massive labor forces. Dialing this simulation to the opposite extreme reveals the highly destructive capabilities of ancient acoustic tech. Every physical object has a natural resonant frequency. If a singer matches the exact pitch of a wine glass and increases the amplitude, the glass violently shakes itself apart. Ancient texts frequently mention Astras, divine weapons that caused mass destruction without firing physical projectiles. They were invoked purely by sound, operating entirely on the physics of resonant frequency. This animated diagram illustrates the combat application. An acoustic engineer could calculate the natural resonant frequency of an enemy's chariot, their bronze armor, or even their skeletal structure, and direct an amplified acoustic blast perfectly matched to that frequency. By mastering destructive resonance, an ancient warrior could instantly pulverize a target. Sonic engineering provided a terrifying dual-use technology capable of both building monuments and destroying armies. Taking all of this into account forces us to reevaluate our perception of the ancient world. Because we do not find the remains of heavy diesel machinery or industrial cranes in the archaeological record, we tend to assume these civilizations were technologically limited. They lacked our modern mechanical engineering because they bypassed mechanics entirely to master a different fundamental force: the physics of frequency and vibration. The mantras echoing through ancient mythological texts are the surviving blueprints of an advanced era. They suggest a world built and destroyed using the invisible mathematical power of sound.